So are you paying for insurance you don't need every time you drive for Uber? Well, let's finally break down exactly what covers you, what doesn't, and how to keep your fares, not lose them to extra insurance. So stay tuned, like and subscribe to this episode. We're going to break down insurance for you guys. You got optional injury insurance that Uber offers, you got a rideshare endorsement, and you got commercial insurance. So stay tuned, let's get into this. So when you drive for Uber, your insurance breaks down to like 3 different periods. First one's going to be period 0, what they call it, and that's basically when you're off app and your regular insurance policy covers you. Basically, you're driving around, you're going to the store, you're doing whatever. Then you got period 1. Now this is when the app is on, but you're waiting for a ride. So you're not actively on the way to get somebody. You don't have a passenger in the car, but you have the app on, you hit go, and you're driving around trying to pick up a trip or trying to catch a surge, trying to do whatever. Then you got period 2 and 3. You got basically, you accept the trip request, now you're on the way to pick up the passenger. Then you also got, once you pick up the passenger until you drop them off. So that's going to be period 2 and 3. Period 2, basically, you're going to pick them up. Period 3 is basically once they get in your vehicle, you hit start and the trip is actively running. Those are the different periods that insurance goes. They're different coverages. I'm going to break them down, what they cover, which ones do, which ones don't, and how it works for you guys. So I'm going to start off first with rideshare endorsement. Now, honestly, rideshare endorsements really not that much more than your regular insurance. A lot of people get it, think that, oh, it's commercial insurance, it's this or that, it's really expensive. Actually, it's really not, just a little bit more every month. The good thing about it is this actually covers you in period 1 when you have that app on, but you haven't taken a trip yet and you haven't picked anybody else up. This rideshare endorsement actually covers you for that period, kind of fills in that gap. This is more like a gap insurance, but this way your insurance company knows you're doing rideshare, they know you're doing Uber, they know you're doing Lyft, they know you're doing it. That way, if you get in an accident, your insurance company's not like, oh, you're driving for Uber? We didn't know that. So this kind of covers you for that. It covers you in that little period that basically that optional injury insurance doesn't cover you. And then the commercial insurance would, but without paying that premium. So now you're going to have the commercial policy. Now, if you drive full time, if you multi-app, if you like to do private rides, if you like to make some money, commercial insurance is definitely the way to go. But commercial insurance definitely is a premium price. You're going to pay a lot of money for a 6-month period based on your area, your state. Some states are probably more than others. There's different little rules and regulations. But if you're really committed to doing this full time, if you're really committed to trying to make some money and you actually have the money to do it, I always suggest do the commercial insurance. This way you can focus a little less on Uber, a little less on Lyft, and actually focus more on doing your own stuff and actually get paid what you should get paid. But it does cost money and there's a lot that goes into it. Now, the thing about the commercial insurance is it treats every mile as a business, covers you all the time with higher limits. So you're going to have higher limits than you're going to have with that rideshare endorsement, but also too, it's going to cover you when you got the app on. It's going to cover you through all those periods, 0, 1, 2, 3. It's going to cover you when you got a passenger in the car, when you don't have them, when you're on the way to get them, when you're waiting for a ride, or if you're picking up a private client and you're trying to do when you say you got a private client and you got to go pick them up, it covers for that whole trip. You're gonna have higher limits. Something happens, you get an accident, they get injured, you're covered, everything's good. You're probably gonna need to have an LLC when you do that commercial insurance because you're gonna have to have some type of business to have that commercial. Obviously it's commercial, which means business, so you'd have to have an LLC. So when you do commercial insurance, it does cost you more money. One thing I suggest though, if you have the commercial insurance, you're doing Uber Black, you're doing Lyft Black, however, I do suggest that you do focus more on building your own clients, a private ride business, because honestly, if you're gonna spend that kind of money, you don't really need to be driving around doing Uber Black, because you're not going to get that many rides, and you're still not going to get paid what you should get paid when those people are paying a premium. So if you're going to do the commercial route, it covers you through all those periods. It's the best option, but it's the most expensive option. It takes a lot to do it. You're going to have an LLC. You're going to have to shop around. Some companies are more than others. Some companies might not even offer it. Does depending on your driving history, all that other stuff. But your states, different states, going to cost more money to do it. So you got to be mindful of the fact that you're going to be paying a premium amount of money every 6 months. But the thing about it is, if you do it correctly, you should be able to make that money back with no problems. Now, if you're doing Uber Premier and you don't have to have that commercial insurance like I showed in an earlier episode, then that's the little loophole. That's that little way where you can get paid about the same, but you're not spending that kind of money. So commercial insurance is the highest option. It is the best option, but it does cost money. So if anything, I suggest just do the rideshare. Save up your money. If you could do Uber Premier, do it. Otherwise, once you get the money up, if you really want to keep doing it full time, if you really do drive a lot, then go ahead, shop around, try to get that commercial insurance. You don't have to pay it all at once. I mean, you could pay it monthly, so that's up to you. But you just got to remember, you got to make that money. It can be done. Just got to do it smart. Got to work smart, not harder. So you got optional injury protection. That's going to be the last one. That's what Uber offers. Now, that you might think, all right, well, it's only a few pennies per ride. But you have to remember how many rides, how long. Think about it. Few cents, it's not a lot of money, right? But over 1,000 rides, 2,000 rides, 10,000 rides, that equals a lot of money. Will you actually need it? Well, that's up for you to decide. It's only if you're gonna get hurt. Now, if you get in an accident, you might be injured, but in order to get that $500 protection or money that they offer, that's basically if you got seriously injured to where you were in the hospital or something to where you literally could not work. There's a difference between being injured and then actually being injured to where you can't actually work, to where say you got a broken arm, broken leg, or you're in a full body cast or whatever. That's something where, yeah, if that happens, it's great you had it, but it's only $500. Think about it. What do you usually make per week? $1,000, $1,200, $1,500, $1,600, depending on how much you work. You can easily make $500. Now you probably have to work 30 hours or something like that. Maybe be lucky, take a lot of, bad rides, whatever. But it didn't take a whole lot to work to get $500. So even if you were injured and you were able to work some, it would be easier to make more than $500. Plus, the fact is you would have it immediately, because with that, you're going to deal with the insurance company. It's going to take a while. Literally, they're going to take their time. They're going to try any way they can to deny the claim to where you're not going to get paid. And it could be 6 months, 12 months before you get paid. So always be mindful of that. But that's up to you at the end of the day. If you want to pay for that, that's on you. If you feel like you need it. But the one thing I do think, and the one thing I do encourage you guys to do, is at least have that rideshare endorsement. That rideshare endorsement makes a huge difference. It fills in the gaps, something you need. Now, if you can afford commercial insurance, if you're doing that many rides, you want to do your own business, you want to do an LLC, I definitely say do that. That's why I showed you the Uber Premier episode. That was a stepping stone to try to get to that level. That way, say you have that rideshare endorsement, but you have that model car and you're in that area, that select city, well, then you could do Uber Premier. You can get that money, you could save it up, and then you can move on to Uber Black. But that's just wanted to break all this down for you guys, try to keep it short and sweet. But optional injury, that's just going to be basically if you get hurt, doesn't cover your car, any of that stuff. That rideshare endorsement fills in that gap, kind of helps when you're not actually picking anybody up. When you just have the app on, it's better to have it. It's not that much more money than having regular insurance. Plus, guys, always tell your insurance company you do Uber. Don't sit there and try to be cheap. You're not really saving that much money. So I suggest do the rideshare endorsement. If you want to do optional injury, that's on you. If you got the money, then do commercial insurance. But at the end of the day, it's for you to decide. All I wanted to do was break it down for you. I have no affiliation with any of these insurance companies or any Uber, any of those people. Only affiliation I have is that Gridwise link. If you guys do want to click that, I do appreciate everyone that signs up for that. And I'm gonna start putting those Amazon products in the links too, because I started to see a lot of people ask questions about the charger and about all the different products that I have listed. So I'm going to include those in there. Those are affiliate links. Also, I do appreciate the people that purchase it. They are products that I use. Obviously, you see them in my car. That Gridwise app, I use it all the time. You can see me using it in all my videos. So I want to appreciate it, guys. Thank you. I really appreciate you guys watching. I do thank you guys. I'm going to go now. I got to do one more little video, and then I've got to head out and try to make some money. But just want to break down the insurance, guys. At the end of the day, take a look at your insurance, decide what you want to do, what you need. But honestly, that rideshare endorsement is a good thing to have, and definitely not that much more money. Optional injury protection, that's on you. So you guys have a good day. I appreciate it, guys. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week.